growth. Now, let's narrow it down to Nigeria. There are a lot of things here that we do. Our brick and mortar system of the university, as an example, continues because we don't have pervasive broadband. Now, if you have pervasive broadband, people can actually learn from home. Education will improve. What we have now, where you have to travel and go to a particular place before you get educated, will change with things like Coursera and courses online now, but you can't access them here because of 30% of our income in Nigeria today goes into paying the available internet access we have, which is not even broadband. It's a sorry state that we have 6.1% penetration of broadband in the country. Yes, you have some statistics banded around that internet penetration for 53 million people.
Yeah. So what is the state of our broadband today?
It's abysmal. 6.1% of Nigerians are connected to some kind of broadband, some kind. Well, we have some kind of LTE around. But when you say broadband, the definition in the US now, according to the FCC, is 25 megabits download and 4 megabits upload.
Wow.
The broadband, the national broadband plan is saying 1.5 Mbps. So it's a far cry. But where is accessible broadband? First of all, there's a barrier to entry. Everybody needs to get a modem or some kind of thing before you can access the available sort of broadband we have that gives you less than 1 Mbps. The second is that we don't have pervasive Wi-Fi. Worldwide, what has pushed broadband in Kenya, in South Africa, in the UK, in France, in China, are two key things: fiber infrastructure and Wi-Fi. These two things work hand in hand. And then you now have LTE and then 3G as services that people can now use, but then they fall over to Wi-Fi as they go and fiber to their homes. We don't have that here in Nigeria. It's expensive to put up this kind of infrastructure. If the government was serious and they had managed Nitel well, maybe we'll be talking about a different story now. But then what major telco wants to go into broadband access? The question is, what is my return on investment if I do this? So I'd rather focus on voice where that everyone needs. So it's abysmal and it's not growing. We're stagnating as far as broadband is concerned.
And we're building more undersea cables. What are those for?
Well, that's the challenge. Those who are bringing undersea cables, Min1, Glo1, Wax, ACE, they have a unique problem. It's like a water tank that has about 40,000 liters of water, and the pipe that comes from that water is like a straw. That's the unique problem we have. On the sea cables, yes, there's enough capacity to serve virtually every single Nigerian. And there is enough capacity to transform our health sector, to transform our educational sector, to transform what we call e-commerce today is still Jumi and Konga doing the dance of I am the first. To transform virtually everything, to transform delivery of content, entertainment content, to transform the delivery of virtually every space. We have enough capacity to do that. However, from the landing stations in Lagos here to Akwa Ibom, to Uyo, to Maiduguri, where is that infrastructure that will do that? Maybe the InfraCos will do that with the license they've gotten now, but it's a long way to go. And then the existing infrastructure for 3G does not support high-speed data, of course. So yes, that capacity is there, but let's take that capacity and deliver it. That's where the quagmire is.
Okay, so but just before we came on air, I visited netindex.com, and I saw that our average download in, say, Lagos is about 5 Mbps. I mean, what do you have to say about that?
Well, there are a lot of figures in bandied around. But if you look at the figures from a figure that was posted on last week from Internet Statistics, Ghana does 10 Mbps. We are number 10 in Africa. Below Ghana, below Mozambique, below Uganda. We are about 1.39 Mbps. And that's the average speed people get around. Ask anyone around, whether they are on any of the LTE providers, whether they are on the fiber providers, the average speed you have in Nigeria, and 60% of that speed is in Lagos, you'll find that people are doing 1.39 Mbps. Well, is that broadband? What really can you do? As an example, look at the exorbitant price we're paying for direct-to-home TV now. If there was broadband access, I can pick and choose what I want to watch, delivered at the same cost I'm paying for the internet every single month because it's broadband. But then to stream a video of, an HD video of maybe 700 pixels over broadband, I need 2 Mbps minimum dedicated to that alone. What is the cost of that in Nigeria today? So those records being bandied around, sometimes I ask myself the question, what is the purpose of this figures being bandied around? To attract foreign investors or to show that, oh, Nigeria is advanced when all we're doing is Facebooking and tweeting and we say we're on the internet? and then you have 2 or 3 phones, and you have internet package on those 2 or 3 phones, and it adds to the general figure. No, I think realistically, we're very far from the 5 Mbps that is postulated online. We're still nowhere near what broadband speeds really should be.
Now, one day recently, a report came out that said our internet affordability index has gone up, number 2 out of about 30 nations that were examined. Do you agree with that report?
No, I don't. I mean, it's so far from the truth. Right now, the average spending on broadband in Nigeria is about 30% of the average Nigerian income is spent on broadband, the available 6.1% that we have. If you look at the average spending, we're spending about 1,000 naira per gig in Nigeria today. Now, what's 1 gigabit per second in terms of data size? In 2-3 hours, for those who do very heavy things, it's gone. And you pay another 1,000 naira again. So 30% of our income goes into paying for internet access that is epileptic, that's not available, that is frustrating. So whoever has that report, again, like I said earlier, most of these reports that you have, I don't know why they're bringing up these kind of figures and not facing reality. Are we attracting foreign direct investment? Are we trying to make the government look good? Are we trying to window dress Nigeria and say, okay, our broadband is at this level? No, that report is completely far from the truth. Go out and ask everyone how much you spend on internet access in every month, and people will tell you they're actually cutting down on their spending because it's too expensive. At the end of the month, when 30% of your income goes into paying for broadband access, that's the most expensive anywhere you find in the world for crappy services, crappy broadband services.
Okay. As an expert, personally, I do about 40, 50 gig a month.
Okay.
As an expert, when we get broadband right,
yeah,
how many gigs do you think an average Nigerian will be doing?
Well, again, when you put a picture of gig, it's like saying you put chocolate in front of a child and then you put a fence around the chocolate and say you can only put your finger and taste it once in a while. Broadband should be, to the consumer, unlimited.
Wow.
We shouldn't have that point where we get to where we cap what the subscriber can do with broadband. You want to start streaming a video and then your data runs out. What happens to you? You're frustrated. Worldwide, people actually now do what they call offloads from the mobile network because of this limitation. Now, the reason why mobile networks put the limitation is to protect their investment. If they allow you to do unlimited on the network, the capacity dies. The network just collapses. So they have to put that there as a protection of their investment. Yes, they're giving you some service, but they have to protect their investment as well. Don't forget that that same infrastructure is used for voice, for 3G, and for LTE, there's a limited number of people that can stay on an LTE base station. Maybe about 2,000 concurrent subscribers can stay on an LTE base station if the algorithm and the sector of the base station is right. And so to protect that investment, how many more contention ratios would they do? So I want to get 4,000, 8,000 people on one single base station. I have to do a contention ratio. And to achieve that, I'll limit it to what you can pull from my bandwidth. So it's to protect the investment. So what is done worldwide is, yes, I want to protect my investment, but on the other hand, I will offload my data to Wi-Fi because you can do everything you want to do on Wi-Fi. There's nothing to protect there. So you have a lot of Wi-Fi offloads worldwide, either user-based offload or you have an actual operator saying, use my Wi-Fi. Just like you have AT&T, you have Comcast and the rest of them setting up thousands of Wi-Fi hotspots worldwide. So but there's no, in Nigeria, we don't have that alternative. We don't have that route to go. So we're stuck with people saying, don't touch the chocolate, touch it today, don't touch it tomorrow. If you touch it too much, you have to pay for it. That's the situation we have in Nigeria right now. So to answer that question, there is no limit. When true broadband, when we get it right, competition will drive everyone to do it as much as you can at prices that everyone can afford. I am of the opinion, and that's what I am driving at doing. I'm driving at commoditizing broadband in Nigeria.